Mark Anderson witnessed a bizarre occurrence while deep-sea diving, an event he could never have imagined. Anderson possesses nearly a decade of experience diving in the ocean depths. His camera holds countless images of marine creatures, ranging from the minuscule to the massive. Yet, he had no inkling that on that particular day in September, he was about to encounter a terrifying incident that would alter his life forever. As was his daily routine, Mark Anderson set out to dive in the open ocean, some 200 miles off the coast of British Columbia. That day, the water was exceptionally clear and calm. However, it was also quite cold, hovering around 12 degrees Celsius. Mark slowly descended into the depths. He began capturing images of seaweed and small fish with his camera. Suddenly, his gaze fell upon a small cluster of sea cucumbers. Mark decided to take a few close-up shots of them. But just then, he felt the jolt of a strange ripple in the water. He noticed an unseen movement beneath the surface. He could sense that a large creature might be swimming nearby. Mark assumed it was likely a seal or perhaps a young orca, as these were common sights for divers. However, as he moved forward, what he saw next caused him to freeze in terror within that frigid water for a few heart-stopping seconds. A humpback whale calf, approximately 4 meters in length, was swimming just a few meters away from Mark. Mark observed that the creature's movements were highly unusual. Typically, these colossal marine giants do not behave in such a manner. Yet, on that day, the massive humpback calf moved with a jerky, erratic motion, all the while gazing at the diver with an enchanting, soulful stare, as if trying to capture his attention. Dismissing it as a trivial occurrence, Mark paid little heed to the calf and continued moving forward, but the calf persisted, following Mark and circling around him in the water. Mark took a deep breath. He gripped his camera and began filming the calf's peculiar behavior. However, the creature did not appear calm to him. Suddenly, the calf swam right up close to him, seemingly attempting to touch Mark with its massive pectoral fin. It repeated this strange behavior over and over again. Observing the calf's actions, Mark suddenly realized that it seemed to be trying to communicate something to him. In his 10 years of diving experience, he had never witnessed such peculiar behavior from a marine animal. After circling Mark approximately 7 or 8 times, the calf abruptly and deliberately changed course. It swam about 20 meters away and then stopped. It turned back to look at Mark, as if checking to see whether he was following. Mark noticed that the calf's small eyes seemed filled with emotion, as if it were beckoning him, eager to show him something. Mark knew full well that pursuing these formidable giants of the ocean could be extremely dangerous. Yet, the calf's bizarre behavior piqued his curiosity, and despite the inherent risks to his life, he began to follow it. They headed northward, venturing far away from the coastline. Every time they had traveled another 30 to 40 meters, the calf would pause to ensure Mark could keep up. Gradually, they descended into the depths, and the water below grew increasingly dark. The deeper one dives into the ocean, the fainter the sunlight becomes, and the greater the darkness grows. After descending several meters, they reached a small valley on the ocean floor. There, Mark witnessed something that chilled him to the bone. An adult humpback whale, approximately 14 meters in length, was floating motionless in the water. Its body was covered in strange growths. From a distance, it looked as though it had been coated in some gray substance. When Mark swam right up close to the humpback, he immediately realized what they were: barnacles. In fact, these barnacles, which bore a resemblance to cloves of garlic, are a type of marine organism. These creatures attach themselves to a whale's body to gather food. Moreover, the whale's massive frame also serves to protect them from other predators. While barnacles are frequently found on whales, the colony that had taken up residence on this particular whale was no small cluster. They had formed a layer several centimeters thick. They completely enveloped her entire body, with the sole exception of her eyes. Mark noticed the calf circling the massive humpback, as if affectionately caressing her. It was now abundantly clear to Mark that this whale was the calf's mother, and the calf seemed overjoyed to have successfully led Mark to her. Summoning a bit of courage, Mark moved even closer to the humpback. He then observed that the parasitic barnacles clinging to her body were attached in such a way that they had left her utterly debilitated. It was capable of doing nothing but wagging its fin. Much like a human child fetching a doctor for an ailing mother, it seemed as though this baby humpback whale had sought out Mark, a doctor, to tend to its own mother. Witnessing the calf's profound trust in humans, Mark was deeply moved. Come what may, he had to save this dying creature. He had to reunite the calf with its beloved mother. A colony of barnacles had ravaged the animal's body. They were so numerous that removing them single-handedly was an impossible task for Mark. Nevertheless, Mark was determined to save the calf's mother. With this sole thought in mind, he drew the knife from his belt and began the painstaking process of scraping away the barnacles. However, they clung so tenaciously to her flesh that dislodging them proved to be an incredibly arduous undertaking, one that was simply beyond the capabilities of a single individual. Yet, despite the odds, he managed to clear an area of barnacles roughly the size of a dining table. Meanwhile, his oxygen supply was rapidly dwindling. He needed to surface for air, or he would risk his own survival. Consequently, he ascended swiftly. Upon returning to the boat, he immediately contacted the Coastal Marine Rescue Team and recounted the entire incident to them. They in turn began to pepper him with questions, inquiring about the severity of the animal's condition and the depth at which it was situated. Mark provided them with every detail. He also informed them that a small calf was present alongside the mother. After gathering all the necessary details from Mark, the Marine Rescue Team instructed him to wait for approximately 1 hour. In the interim, Mark replenished his oxygen supply and dove back into the water to verify whether the whales were still there. As he descended, he was left utterly astounded. The calf and its mother were indeed still waiting within that small underwater valley. Through some innate intuition, they had understood that Mark would surely return with help. Shortly after, the rescue team arrived on the scene. The boat carried a total of 6 crew members, 3 rescue specialists, 1 behavioral expert, and 2 medical professionals. Guided by Mark's directions, the entire team, including 2 additional divers, swiftly descended into the depths of the ocean. The tools they were using to remove the barnacles were far more advanced and effective than Mark's knife. With their aid, they were able to meticulously remove the barnacles without causing any damage to the animal's skin or inflicting any injury. However, this task was extremely time-consuming. Consequently, they had to swap out their oxygen tanks every hour. Once the barnacles had been completely removed, the veterinarians conducted a thorough examination of the animal and discovered the presence of strange objects inside its stomach. They determined that the animal required emergency surgery as soon as possible. The whale was subsequently transported to a marine rehabilitation center via a tugboat to undergo the operation. For the medical team, this was an extremely risky procedure, as the whale was severely debilitated, so weak in fact that there was a significant risk that it might not survive. As the whale was being ferried towards the shore on an inflatable raft towed by the tugboat, its calf followed closely behind, maintaining a distance of just 1 meter from its mother. When the veterinarians at the rehabilitation center began the surgery, they extracted an object from the whale's stomach that left everyone present in utter shock. A large industrial fishing net saturated with toxic chemicals. Laboratory analysis of the net revealed that it had been coated with a dangerous chemical named tributol tin. Once the whale swallowed the net, the toxin began to dissolve in its stomach acids. The toxin subsequently spread through its bloodstream, poisoning its entire system and gradually destroying its internal organs, a process akin to the effects of a slow poison. Just imagine the horrific deaths that innocent animals can suffer simply because we carelessly discard our waste products wherever we please. Despite a global ban imposed in the year 2000 on fishing nets treated with this chemical, some individuals continue to use them for fishing to this day. By the time the whale was treated, its liver had already become significantly enlarged beyond its normal size, and inflammation was evident in its tissues. Furthermore, its kidneys were in critical condition, and its immune system had been severely compromised. To compound matters, colonies of barnacles had caused infections across its body. Yet, despite enduring such dire circumstances, the whale fought on and survived, a feat that astonished the veterinarians more than anything else. Perhaps he was fighting to survive solely for the sake of his offspring. The little one, however, was remarkably intelligent and courageous. That is precisely why, disregarding the risks to his own life, he had ventured out to beg humans for help. After all, there are many people who might have perceived them as dangerous monsters and even killed them. Well, following adequate medical treatment, the doctors placed him in a recovery pool for the next 3 weeks, and here Mark would come to visit her every day. Gradually, the severity of the poisoning began to subside, her blood circulation started to return to normal, and her immune system grew stronger. Eventually, this helpless whale made a full recovery. Afterward, she was taken out to sea and set free. Friends, just imagine, had the calf not approached Mark for help, we would never have known that its mother was in such grave danger. Ultimately, thanks to Mark's courage, the mother whale was granted a new lease on life. Perhaps the calf had sought help from countless other people, just as it had from Mark, yet none of them had tried with the same sincerity of heart as Mark to understand its plea.